So I have a quote I love to use, and it says, you don't have to be happy that you are single, but you need to learn how to be happy while you're single. And in this video, I'm going to lay out to you the things that you need to focus on to find that happiness. My name is Stephan, aka Stephan Speaks, and I'm back with another life and dating relationship advice video for women. And we're going to be talking about the 7 things single women should focus on. All right. Before we get started, as always, be sure to like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so you can be notified anytime I drop new content or go live on YouTube. So like I said, we're talking about the things single women should focus on. And the reality is that as a coach, I coach a lot of different people, a lot of different women and men, but I hear the struggles of so many people. And I see where so many women, single women specifically for this video, are simply focusing on the wrong thing, are letting life run them rather than running their life, are not living to their true potential and getting all out of life that they should be getting. And so I think we need to readjust some things or prioritize what needs to be important while you're single. Now, let me make this clear. This isn't about whether you need to find a relationship or not. You know, that's your choice. And wherever life takes you, whatever you truly desire at your core, I pray that you receive that. But these things for you to focus on will, first and foremost, improve your current life. But if you do desire a relationship, it will set you up for healthy, successful relationships as well. All right. So let's get to it. Number 1 is finding your purpose. Now, this is a big one because what I'm seeing, okay, and I'm just going off what I've seen and observed and studied, is that so many women are not walking in their purpose. And some women are not walking in their purpose because they're dealing with a man who's basically holding them back. And so let's start there. As a single woman, it's very important that if you want to find your purpose, you avoid getting caught up with unnecessary or with bad men with ill intentions, with temporary men, because those situations have the ability to derail you in so many ways, as well as cause you to lose sight and focus on what you need to be doing. So it's important that as a woman, you learn how to navigate through this life, not falling for or not letting the common things that lead women into bad relationships, fear of being alone, loneliness, peer pressure, family, friends, society. All these things tend to push women into situations that they do not belong in, as well as, again, a lack of healing, but we'll get more into that. So be mindful of all these things because, again, it's very important that on the path to both finding your purpose and we'll add on to that, finding yourself, that you try to not get caught up with the wrong men. Because I cannot tell you how many women right now are so shattered, so damaged, so further back in their path because they allow themselves to be attached to the wrong individual. But going deeper than that, what I'm also seeing from a lot of women in regards to finding your purpose, a lot more women today are successful. A lot more women are pursuing dreams or passions, or at least what is being presented as dreams and passions. And the reason why I say that is because what I'm also noticing is this huge problem where women are pursuing career not because it speaks to their heart, but because they're running from relationships. Because society says, well, you need to do something with your life. Because now they've been shamed if they wanted to be a housewife or a homemaker. I'm seeing this problem where women are now doing work because they want to obtain a certain lifestyle, but the work they do is stressing them the hell out. And so the trade-off that they're making by the pursuit of this career is their emotional health is being damaged. Their physical health is going down the drain. Yes, they're enjoying some benefits and some perks. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting certain things and wanting to pursue it. But I want you to be mindful of, though, are you in your purpose? Because specifically, when you are in your purpose, this is where you will find more peace. It doesn't mean everything on the path to purpose and within purpose is perfect and amazing and there's never any stress. That's not going to be the case. But there is peace there. There is happiness there. There is a fulfillment that now sustains you in a way that empty success cannot. And when I say the word empty, I mean, again, a career that doesn't speak to your heart, does not speak to your spirit. And kind of going back to what I mentioned about the women who are being shamed when deep inside they want to be homemakers or home and just raise kids and be married. Don't let society tell you that that cannot be your purpose. It is possible, yes, whether some people agree or not, that your purpose may be aligned in being someone's wife and elevating the family unit, pushing that man further, not carrying him. Notice the word, and even pushing him. I don't want to say pushing him, inspiring him to more, elevating him, magnifying the gift he already has and making it something greater. But no, not putting a man on your back and carrying him to the finish line. Because that's another way women get damaged. That's another way women fall off the path of their purpose, because they're trying to make something out of a man who has not made something out of himself. All right? But that's a whole other topic. We're going to leave that alone for right now. To get back to the main thing here is, whether your desire or your purpose lies in career, as far as being in corporate America, starting your own business, whatever the case may be, or if your purpose is the homemaker wife, all right? Or if your purpose is a combination that has a little bit of both, whatever it is, embrace your truth. Do not let society, friends, family tell you what you should and should not do. Again, I feel the need to mention this. I cannot tell you how many times I've met a woman who, I remember once a woman was a nurse. And the only reason why she was a nurse is because her family was pushing her to do it. She didn't care anything for being a nurse. And so you got to understand that when you are not where you belong, whether that's a relationship or a career, you're going to start to take on a lot of unhealthy, negative energy. And now that pours over into other aspects of your life. And unfortunately, the money you make from these careers can only help so much, which is why you can find so many examples of rich men and women who are miserable, rich men and women who are depressed, rich men and women committing suicide, because the money by itself cannot sustain you. And the career and the lifestyle it provides you, yes, it's nice. I'm not gonna act like it's not, but purpose is a next level thing. And in finding your purpose, you can better now align with people in your life as well as that potential partner. Because I always say, if you don't know where you're headed in life, you don't know who belongs on that path with you. So I'm not going to drag out this specific point any longer, but I'm just going to say it again. You want to find you and find your purpose. Because finding you and finding purpose are like they're the same thing to me. They come together. And so it's important that you make time for that. Take a step back. Really evaluate what speaks to your heart, what speaks to your spirit, and understand that great success can be found within your purpose. Even financially, all that you dream of and desire can be found when you tap into your purpose correctly. Now, number 2 on this list, and that is creating me time. So again, I tell you all the time, I speak to so many women, and I see how many of y'all are running yourselves ragged. You are letting life and the circumstances surrounding you drain you. And you are giving yourself to so many other things but to your own self. You are pouring into family, pouring into friends, maybe pouring into situations as far as with men and dating, pouring into your kids. But where's the time for you? What are you doing for you? Now, let me be very clear. When I speak of me time, I'm speaking of relaxation. When I speak of me time, I'm speaking of relaxation. I'm speaking of recharging. I'm speaking of decompressing. All right. We'll get into the other like enjoying life aspect, but this is more so about you need rest. You need time to take a break. All right. And to not have to have the burden of life weighing on you every second, every day. So I feel the need to say this. This is a point that is important for all people. And the reality is this whole video can apply to men as well for the most part. But I do believe there's specific things that speak directly to women, and that's why this one is just for you ladies. And let me say this, when it comes to the creating me time, It's not that I don't believe that men don't need that. Men do need me time as well. But I really believe it's even more important for women. And the reason is because what I have learned is as women, you guys are thinking a lot. I don't think people understand the level of mental exhaustion that a lot of women are going through. So that even in times where you're not physically engaging in something, your mind is working. It's like the same thing that happens with kids. You may not be around your children, but you may be constantly thinking about what are they doing? Do they need anything? Are they safe? And this constant thinking, this constant expending of energy with your brain is wearing you down. And so because women are so emotionally in tune, because women are such thinkers and women are such in their heads all the time, it is so important that you make time to detach from that. It is so important that you make time to shut your brain off. You need it. You need a break. Now, I know many of you may be saying, well, I just don't have the time. You have it. You have to make it. You've got to take a step back, evaluate your schedule, and say, okay, where can I plug in some me time? Even if you cannot afford to give yourself a full day right now, because it is possible that you're doing things on your own. Maybe, again, you might have kids. You may have responsibilities that don't allow you to have a full days off. Even though I would still argue it is possible with the right will to make it happen and creativity, all right? But putting that aside, you still got maybe hours in the day. You still got a time slot that you can carve out for yourself, all right? And if you do have kids, finding ways to manage the children. One quick example, and we won't get too deep into it, but like play dates, all right? Finding whether it be friends or family who also have kids and saying, okay, on this day, you'll watch all our kids so I can take my break. And on this day, I'll watch all of our kids so you can take your break. And now you both are giving yourself time off to relax, recharge, and decompress. And it's just so important because, again, when you are running yourself, draining your energy and just letting yourself be run by life like this, you become no good for anybody. You become less good for yourself, less good for the people that you are pouring into. And more importantly, if you do desire a relationship, you become less healthy to now be in a relationship. You become, I hate to say it like this, but to a certain extent, even less valuable. Now, please do not be triggered by that. When I say less valuable, let me put it to you like this. If you met a man, great qualities, great guy, but this man is always tired, always worn out, so much on his plate. And when you want to spend time with him, he can't be as present. He can't be as enjoyable to be around. Are you going to see him as valuable as you did if he was operating at his better self, at his higher level, if he found a way to resolve that issue? So we don't have to use the word value, but the point is you become more attractive as a happy person, as a happy woman. You become more desirable as a happy woman. So again, the priority is for yourself, but yes, this will translate into creating and attracting better relationships. So again, it's very, very important that you make time. That's your homework. Anybody watching this, your homework is to take some time and to create a schedule that gives you consistent me time, consistent time off to relax, recharge, and decompress. So now let's get to number 3. And number 3 is healing from your past. So if you've been following me, and maybe this is your first time watching any of my videos, what you're gonna learn is I'm big on healing. Everything is about we need to heal because a lack of healing is throwing so many things off for so many people. It's creating so many unhealthy environments, unhealthy relationships. It's causing people to get into the wrong relationships. It's causing people to suffer physically, mentally, emotionally. It is lowering quality of life. It is having such a negative impact, yet it's one of the most overlooked things in people's lives. So many people are trying to live life and sweep the past trauma and hurt and issues under the rug. They're trying to act like, and this may be you, that you're okay, that there's nothing wrong, but I'm here to tell you there is. And that's not something to feel ashamed about or be bothered by, because I would argue that all of us at some point have gone through something, have been hurt. Now, let me make something clear, because some of y'all might say, well, everybody has issues. No, stop that, all right? Everybody may have had an issue. Some people have addressed their issues. Some people have truly healed from their past, and that can be you if you're willing to take the necessary steps. But again, it's important because I have to say it one more time, that trauma that you're holding on to, that lack of healing creates emotional stress. Stress is the number one inducer to disease and ailments. A lot of people are getting physically sick because of the emotional trauma they're holding on to. And they're trying to look at the surface to diagnose what the problem is, but the issue is from within. And so it's so important that you go on the journey to healing, all right? And you do what's necessary. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, how do we heal? How do we heal? All right, I'm going to give you a first step to get the ball rolling. Some of you may have heard this before, but I'm going to read it anyway. When you get a chance, here's another piece of homework for you. When you get a chance, get a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, write down, who hurt me? And now ask yourself the question, who hurt me? And now any person who comes to mind, put them on the paper. It doesn't matter if you think it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you think you moved past it. It doesn't matter if you're like, well, it happened so long ago. Whatever it is, family, relationship, friends, anyone that comes to mind, put them on a paper and a couple sentences of what they did to hurt you. This is how we're going to start the process of healing. Now, to get the whole thing rolling, because I don't want to spend all this time breaking down healing in this video, get your copy of the book, Love After Heartbreak. I have a link below, but even better, join my special coaching program. It's for the ladies. Over 1,000 women have been a part of this program and have seen amazing results. You're going to learn how to heal. You're going to learn tapping into your femininity. You're going to learn attracting, for those of you who want to attract a relationship, but more specifically, attract high-quality men who are relationship-minded. You're going to learn a better understanding of dating and men and all these things that's going to help improve your overall quality of life, including helping you find your purpose. So all that is included in the membership program. Take advantage, click the link below, or go to receivingmyblessings.com. But healing, whether you join the program and get the book or not, please seek the help you need to start the healing process. This is a huge, important piece of the puzzle for, again, your current quality of life, but it will also set you up for much better, healthier, amazing relationships. Now, next on the list of things single women should focus on is creating a positive circle, a network of positive people. So one thing I have definitely observed is a lot of women are surrounded by a lot of negativity, whether that be friends, co-workers, and I know we don't have much control over the co-workers, but just different environments that we expose ourselves to, as well as the TV that you're watching, the music that you're listening to. You've got to really evaluate all the places negative energy is coming from and start to eliminate, or at the very least, bring them down a few levels. And so speaking of starting with the friends, again, take an inventory of your friends, because some of you don't even realize that some of your friends, all y'all do when you do link up or talk to each other, it's negative. It might be unnecessary gossip. It may be just complaining about things, whatever. Not that everyone has that problem. Some of you guys may already have positive friends, but many of you do have negative friends and family members. And you've gotten so conditioned and comfortable to engaging with them, you don't understand the impact they're having on you. And more specifically, the impact their energy and behavior is having on you. And what it's like is, when you're eating bad for a long time, you get used to eating bad. You don't know what it feels like to then eat healthy. But then ask anyone who now stops eating bad for a while, only eats healthy for, let's say, a month or two, and then they go back and have that bad thing they used to have. Their body feels it more. They now are more sensitive to the negative, unhealthy things because they've essentially detoxed their body from all this trash they've been taking in. So right now, until you separate from the negative, or at least get it to die down some, you may not understand how much better your life will be by removing it. And so it's important to be aware of this. And again, I'm not saying at a drop of a dime, go cutting people off who you view as negative, all right? Don't call your girl up right now and be like, hey, you know what? You are just too much to deal with. You're out of here. I don't want you to do that. I do want you to address it, though. I do want you to attempt to resolve it. Now, the best, most effective way, in my opinion, would be through a letter. And it's something that's included in the healing process, where letters are very effective ways to address issues like that. Because if you call your friend up or your family member up and say, hey, I feel like you're too negative, chances are they're going to get defensive, they're going to deflect, nothing will be resolved. A letter will help, but it's important that you understand the right way to do the letter. So I have to remind you again, either check out the book or join the program, because that will help you in properly addressing these things. But ultimately, the goal has to be changing the negative energy around you and creating and generating more positive energy. Whether that be meeting new people, whether that be changing what you're watching and listening to, or just cutting it off completely, as well as what you're putting into your body, which we'll get into a little bit later. All of these things that have negative impacts on your mood, your energy, your thought process, remove them. Also, what you're looking at on the internet. I'm not going to say the page's name because I don't want to put anybody on blast, but there was a certain page I would look at a lot, and it was a very toxic page. And the comment section was very toxic. And I had to learn, you know what, why am I looking at this? This only pours in negative energy, whether you realize it or not. So I had to cut it off. I stopped going to that page. And I've seen the difference. I'm in a much better mood because I'm not letting that negative energy get into my spirit. So again, create that positive environment, that positive circle of friends. Evaluate other ways you can add more positivity into your life, and be very diligent about it, because again, it will make a difference that maybe you don't even realize it will at this moment. Which brings me to number 5, improving your physical health. Now, listen, I am not here to tell you how you need to look, all right? I think you have to find your happiness in the way that you present yourself, as well as getting the results you want out of life. However, I do want to encourage you to be healthy. I do want to encourage you to be mindful of what you are putting in your body. I do want you to be mindful of the need for exercise, because it's not just about how it will make you look. It's about how it will make you feel. Yes, the look is also a byproduct that can have a very positive effect on you. But my focus, at least for this video, is about how you're feeling, all right? And I want you to feel good. And I want you to understand that what you put into your body can impact your hormones, can impact your mood, can impact your energy. It's hard to be positive, loving, enjoying life, all these things when you're cranky, when you're irritable, all right? When you're in a bad mood, and whether you realize it or not, the food or the drinks you are putting in your system are contributing to the issue. As well as, yes, a lack of activity, specifically exercise. It doesn't mean you need to go to the gym like everyone else or lift weights, but you're doing something, even if it's walks consistently in your neighborhood, something that gets you active, gets the blood flowing. All of these things can help. Walking is a great stress reliever. I personally, whenever it's sunny outside, I always make it my business to walk for like 30 minutes. Literally just walking around for 30 minutes to soak up some sun, sometimes even more than that. That vitamin D, which a lot of people are vitamin D deficient. We're not gonna go on to that right now, but the point is, it's a very powerful thing for you to start doing. But again, morning meditation even will help you, which meditation, prayer, all these things, having a morning routine, I'm just throwing that in real quick, but really doing things that help improve your overall health as well as your mind. And all these things come together. All these things are attached to each other. So again, if you are not taking care of yourself physically, it will bring you down in other ways. So make an effort to look into different things. Now, I'm going to mention 2 quick things that have worked for me. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying you should consider looking into it, do some research, and see how well that will play out for you. Number 1, going plant-based. Again, not saying it's for everybody. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I know that I've gone plant-based. I know it's made a world of a difference, all right? My energy is way better. My focus is better. Everything is better. I am much healthier now that I have gone plant-based. It sounds scary at first. You may need time to transition, but it's something to consider, all right? in addition to that, the other thing that I've looked into or that I have done for myself is eating from my blood type. And again, there may be some disputes out there whether these things are good or not, but I'm a believer in I research, and if I see enough good research, I try it out and I see how it actually impacts me. And for me, it has had a great impact, all right? So learning what your blood type is, and you can easily Google it. There's books on it on what foods agree with your body and which foods don't. Because what people don't realize is some foods that we have deemed healthy in our mind or have been led to believe are healthy do not agree specifically with us, with our body. Our body chemistry does not line up well with that specific food. And so somebody else can eat a whole bunch of it, no problems. You eat it and you're breaking out, you got all kinds of inflammation, all kinds of issues are happening. So look into that, consider that, and just overall take better care of your health. Oh, and I'm gonna add 2 more things. Get some sleep and drink some water, okay? Like, listen, dehydration, real problem. Sleep deprivation, real problem. Too many of you are operating on too low of sleep, which is why, again, your quality of life is severely diminished. And too many of you are more dehydrated than you think. And that is having a negative impact. So again, look into these things, try to make the necessary adjustments, improve that. And yes, even though we're talking about things that single women should focus on, as I kind of mentioned earlier, this can really apply to any woman, any person. I just made the focus today about single women because I want you to really enhance your current quality of life and set yourself up for even greater, especially if your desire is a relationship. Now that takes me to number 6. And number 6 is having fun. Plain and simple, you need to enjoy your life. Now, we talked earlier about creating me time, but like I said, me time was about relaxing, recharging, decompressing, even pampering yourself. I didn't mention that earlier, but I'll say it now. If you can afford it, getting a spa day, getting a massage. These are the things that I want you to do for your me time, because it's about getting your break, getting your detachment from life and the stress that it brings. You need that. But then in addition to your me time, you need fun time. You need to enjoy life. And if you don't know what's fun to you, then let's explore some things. But we got to start enjoying ourselves. Everybody, because again, it's that lack of enjoyment in your life that now creates negativity, that now makes everything more stressful, that really has a damaging impact on you. And so you've got to make it your business to enjoy life. Even if you want a relationship, you cannot view the relationship as the key to happiness. It can be an addition to your happiness. It can help enhance your happiness, but your happiness has to exist within yourself first. So you've got to find what makes you happy. Sit down, another piece of homework, sit down and write down at least 5 things that put a smile on your face. 5 things that you enjoy. And then ask yourself, am I doing any of these things consistently? And if you are not, how can I now implement them in my life in a more consistent basis? I'll give you one example. I love basketball. I love sports. I love competition. And I was actually challenged in the same way about writing things down that I enjoy. And basketball was one of those things. So the next question was, am I implementing that in my life? Hell no, I'm not. I have not been. I haven't played ball in I don't know how long. When I used to play ball like every week. I used to be in leagues, all this stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I said, okay, no more dragging this along. No more making excuses. I picked the day, and this day is my basketball day. And every week, I will be playing basketball on this day because that's what I enjoy and that makes me happy. And that's just one example, but you got to find ways and make it your business to create happiness within you. Also understand that all the other things mentioned on this list will help pour into your happiness. The way that you eat, having that me time, creating the more positive environment, all these things contribute to making it easier for you to be happy. Because happiness is a choice. We've got to choose it. We got to choose it daily. And listen, no one's going to be perfect. We're all going to have our moments. I'm over here preaching to you about being happy, and I still have my miserable moments. It happens, right? But the key is not to dwell in those moments. The key is to have structure in your life that can pull you out of that darkness. That's the thing. Dark moments will hit us all. But when we don't have a proper structure in our life, when we don't have a proper environment, what happens is we can easily be pulled deeper into the darkness. But if we have things set up correctly, we can be easily pulled out of it. And so I don't want you to ever fall so deep that it creates more problems. I want you to be able to pull yourself out when those times come, because they will. All right. So find that happiness, create it, make it your business to do things that you enjoy and start to enjoy your life overall. And now let's get to the last thing, but you know me, I got a bonus, all right? So don't leave after this last one. I got one more after this, all right? But number 7 on this list is tapping into your feminine energy. Now, everybody watching this may not agree, but I am a huge believer in the power of a woman's feminine energy and how much that brings peace and happiness into a woman's life. And the unfortunate reality is that so many women have become detached from their feminine energy. So many women are looking negatively upon feminine energy. They think, or you may think, that your feminine energy got you hurt. That when you were more feminine, you got played, used, and all these different things. But I always say it wasn't your feminine energy that hurt you, it was your selection process. It was the people you allowed yourself to entertain. It was the people that you allowed to waste your time. It was the people who you allowed to use you. And that's not to beat yourself up, because I never want you to do that. But it's to understand that do not attach the negative things that happened to femininity. Because femininity is a beautiful thing. It is a powerful thing. And when you learn to tap into it, you are going to experience a higher quality of life. Now, again, though I firmly believe that for the woman who desires a masculine man, that feminine energy is a huge key to receiving that man. But again, before we even worry about that man, we need to worry about you. And for your sake, for your happiness, for your joy, that feminine energy is important. It will provide you with that. Because think about this. When you are in your femininity, you are able to be more free. You are able to flow in your essence. You are able to be more vulnerable. And I know that word vulnerable is scary to some of y'all, which is why you have to heal, which is why you have to address some of the past trauma. But when you can get back to that place where you let go more and allow yourself to live, all right, and live in your truth, because I believe for so many of you that's where your truth lies. That's where it is. It's in your feminine energy. So I know some of you are thinking, well, how do we do this? What is exactly feminine energy? I would say this: join the program. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go all into it in this specific video, though I know I always say I'm going to make a specific video for feminine energy. But for now, join the program, because it's going to help you in tapping into your feminine energy. It's going to help you, again, like I said, with the healing, with finding your purpose, and so much more. So again, click the link in the description or go to receivingmyblessings.com. All right. But like I said, I do have a bonus, and this bonus is specifically for women who are believers, because I understand not everybody that watches the video may be a believer. But for those women who are believers, the other and arguably the most important thing you need to focus on while you're single is learning how to go to God more. All right. And the reason why I say go to God more, notice I didn't say go to church more. Notice I didn't say read your Bible more. Not that there's anything wrong with those things, all right? Or any scripture that you're going to read for any, depending on what your specific belief is. But what I'm saying is go to God, the source, more. Because what I have seen happen so much, even with women who are believers in God, is that when it comes to certain aspects of life, especially relationships, there's a disconnect. I've seen women where you'll go to God about your health. You'll go to God about your finances. You'll go to God about your career. You'll go to God about all these different things. But when it comes to relationships, it's like, nah, Lord, I'll take care of it myself. Like, nah, I got this. Nah, I'll figure it out. Or I'm just going to go off what I'm feeling and sensing and think and want to believe it is, rather than taking a moment to actually pray and talk to God about it. And not just pray to make a request like, Lord, if he's not the man for me, please remove him. Y'all love that one, all right? Or please make this work, God. Like, no. I'm talking about, God, should I be dealing with this man? God, am I in the right situation? God, am I at the right job? God, am I living in the right city? And I know that just hit some of y'all because you needed to hear that. Some of you are not where you belong physically because you are in the wrong city, in the wrong state. But I digress. The point is, you've got to get back to talking to God and asking a question to receive an answer, to receive guidance, all right? And the other reason why that's so important in your life right now as you're single is because, again, if you don't develop the habit of praying and talking to God and seeking that guidance while you're single, you're not going to magically develop the habit when you get in a relationship. What happens to a lot of women is, again, they bypass that step, end up getting with the wrong guy, because that's what typically happens, all right? And by that point, you have not gotten comfortable with the seeking guidance in these specific relationship issues or your life issues in general. And so now you're seeking the advice of the pastor, of this person, even me. And listen, I love that you come to me for advice. I want you to watch these videos, but I'm not God, all right? And I'm going to still encourage you to go to God to get the final answer, to really get the official guidance of what you need to do, to ask him what advice that is being given to you actually applies, actually should be used and implemented. It's important you do that. So again, if you don't develop that practice, that habit while you're single, it will become a thing of the past while you're in a relationship, and by then it's too late. And when I say too late, not that God can always work things out in the way that it needs to, but too late in the sense that it will be hard for you to, or you would have already gone so far down the wrong path, a lot of damage will be done. And you're going to have to do a lot now to reverse that damage, so to speak. So I just want to encourage you, getting closer to God, but more specifically, going to God, seeking guidance, letting him giving you the answer and listening to your spirit, not just assuming you know. Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard a woman say, well, I don't need to pray about that because I already feel this is what the answer is. Really? Like, what you mean? And listen, if you're not a believer, of course, none of this matters. But if you are, don't bypass him, because even if you think what you feel is the accurate answer, it can't hurt to double check by praying and asking God. It can't help to make sure that you are not getting anything wrong. I can't tell you how many times I thought I knew the answer, prayed, and heard something completely different, all right? So sometimes things are not what we think they are or what we have believed they are. So again, I just want you to consider that as you move forward while you're single and especially when you get into a relationship. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Every day you deal with so much. So many different things are being thrown at you, wearing you down mentally, spiritually, and physically. And the reality is that you need to learn how to protect your peace.